Suzanne Lyons here again, and thank you so much for joining me. Today is tip number 7. Can't believe we're more than halfway through on mentors. The whole theme this time has been mentors. And last week I know I harped about the importance of mentor etiquette, which was tip number 6. And today, as I promised you, I have Kevin E. West is here, because today is about being prepared, and I feel just as strongly about that as I do about the etiquette that we talked about last week. Kevin also shares my philosophy on being prepared. Now let me tell you a little tiny bit. I know I shared about who Kevin was last week, but I just want to re-emphasize he's 20 years an actor in this industry, in television world. You've seen him many, many times, as you will today. And he's been on shows like Lost and CSI Miami and just tons and tons of great shows. And also, he's a speaker, national speaker for the entertainment industry across the United States. And I think the most important thing, and why I love Kevin so very much, and we're very dear friends and colleagues for many years, is the Actors Network. He is the president and founder of that incredible organization. And he'll tell us at the end, for all of you actors out there, how to get in touch with him. But they are so supportive of actors in the industry and have really nurtured a lot of actors to create wonderful success in their careers. So I'm just thrilled and honored that Kevin was able to join us today with his busy schedule. So let's get right to it. Being prepared, I think, is extremely important. I'm going to hand it over to Kevin, and he's going to share kind of some tips and techniques about why it's important and what you need to do to make sure you are prepared when it comes to being, to your mentor and having the meetings with your mentor and the conversations and phone calls and so on with your mentors. So, Kevin, I'm just going to hand it over for you for the next few minutes and take over.
I'll take it away.
Take it away.
Thanks, Suzanne. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. When Suzanne asked me to do this, and I happily accepted the subject of being prepared, one of the things that struck me the most about it when I first sat and started thinking on the subject was not just being prepared, but in the conversation of a mentor, you guys, you have to realize that you're now talking about being prepared in engaging a human being, which is incredibly different than just the thought of, let's say, being prepared for a test in school, or being prepared for something that's just about intelligence, knowledge, or academics. Because there's a different form of preparation for that than we sometimes consider when we start talking about being prepared to approach, talk to, ask favors of, or engage in any way in a shared conversation. The concept of being prepared to a mentor or to a human being, or gosh, even as an actor going into an audition, takes on a whole new light. And so I actually want to start today's conversation from the end result of what I think being prepared really does for us. And that is, to me, in a subjective scenario, which it is with approaching a mentor or a human being, and that is confidence. I can't tell you, and you could pick it out in your own way 1,000 times in your life. I often use just the phrases about the rooms of your house. When you're wandering around your house, no matter what you're doing, you're comfortable in your space. There's an immense amount of confidence of going from point A to point B, doing 3 things at once, multitasking, et cetera, et cetera. That's easy to do when you're in a space that you know very well, because there's a long, huge part of confidence that exists. It's the old joke with driving is, there's some people don't drive very well, but for those who do, you're busy doing your makeup and having a burger and talking on the cell phone now, all while doing 85 on the freeway. Not that that's safe, but it comes from a certain amount of confidence. So if you can spend some of the time listening to a couple things that I say and make sure that you don't short sell some of the aspects of being prepared when it comes to engaging a person, I think that your confidence will go way up. And I'm a big advocate for the belief in all things in life that if you have a great deal of confidence, you can take maybe a 70% or a 75% day, because we all have bad days, but confidence on something will make that feel to your audience like it was 90% or 93.
Cool.
So I'm really, really big on the fact that the end result of being prepared is the confidence that it gives you. What happens to us now, especially now in 2011, is because of the internet, because of cell phones, because of Google and all the stuff that we can get our hands on so quickly. We all know that old phrase of, well, I know the thing well enough, I'll just ad-lib my way through it. Or, I know it by heart, or I can do it in my sleep. These are all phrases that we have that are associated with stuff that we've done a lot. And as people, it's natural, you guys, that we've done a lot of talking to somebody or asking them questions or engaging a mentor, which is what this. Well, I've called somebody up before. What's the big deal?
Right.
But the problem is that because that is such a natural, normal, everyday behavior for us, we wind up short selling the be preparedness for what you're trying to do, which is actually incredibly important. And we kind of don't consider the person in the other chair very much. I make a joke out of it, is that how many times you're late in your life, and I think we're more late for the things that actually are closest to us. Because it's right around the corner or down the street, we really wind up waiting till the very last second to jump in the car, because it's just around the corner. You had to go someplace difficult to be like, well, I'll start out early. So sometimes, because getting a mentor, talking to somebody, thinking that what you have in your mind for what you're going to ask is so simple, we get to it really quickly. But I can't tell you how important it is to consider what do you really want, and always know what you want. Write it down. Make sure you have a list of questions. Write them down. Role play those questions with yourself at home before you get on the phone.
Oh my God, that's great.
You have to, because you don't know what this other person's going to do or say.
That's right.
And what you've also got to really always make sure that you do is understand and think that they're going to ask you questions. And you have to do research. You have to know your audience. You can't go into a conversation asking someone to help you out if you don't know a little bit about what they do, maybe where they're from, how their day goes. Do as much research as you can to find out all of the moving parts of this person's life, so that not only from the time you ask them, when you call them and make suggestions. I'm a big multiple choice person. I like to give people multiple choices and let them pick the one that's best for them. But we don't tend to spend enough time doing research. We don't spend enough time being really clear in exactly what we want in steps. What I want now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, from this person that I'm engaging as a mentor.
Right.
And then when it comes to that, some of us are really embarrassed about asking for things, so you need to really role play how those questions are going to come out and what some of the objections might be. And get a friend, get 2 friends. Do this at home with them as if you were on the phone with them, because the more you work through this and you have some of your friends fire things back at you that you weren't expecting, the better you're going to be in the process of initiating a mentorship and carrying through with it, because there's a really good chance that your desires and what you want and what you think you want from that mentorship may change over the course of time. But if you've at least considered some of that ahead of time, you'll be one step ahead of it before someone puts you in a position of kind of being lost for what it is they can do for you. So I'm really big on knowing your audience. I'm really big on that kind of preparedness and doing a lot of research on the person that you're approaching, because if you don't really know the right way to ask a question. And I say it all the time, it's not what you do in life, it's how you do it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it when we're not discussing math. And when you're discussing talking to a human being who could be a mentor one day, we're certainly not discussing math.
That's brilliant. Oh my God, that was so good. I hope you guys have been taking notes out there. That was so good. And I think everything you're saying, Kevin, you could literally map it on to anything. It's not just mentoring. I mean, it could be going to a meeting, be prepared. I mean, getting on the phone with anybody. It might have nothing to do with a mentor. Just being prepared.
Going to a social
as
engagement.
As a concept, just taking it on to always be prepared is just something to take on as a distinction in life in this industry. Is fantastic. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I was like taking mental notes here too. So, and I thank you for coming and spending the time with us too. It's wonderful. Now, as an actor, if I were an actor, how would I get a little more information on Actors Network? Because I know there might be some actors watching out there, and you're brilliant, obviously, so I'd love to be part of your organization if I were an actor. So what would they do?
They can just go to actors-network.com, actors-network.com.
Okay.
That's the website. You can be a Los Angeles-based member, but if you don't live in Los Angeles, you can also just have an online membership, which is really inexpensive. So a lot of folks are oftentimes en route to coming to Los Angeles.
Many times.
Yeah, so therefore you have a really inexpensive way to begin to prepare yourself with some of the knowledge and prepare. It's the whole theme of today before you come to Los Angeles as an actor. So
that's great.
And also just learn more about the organization in general.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. That's wonderful. Very good. I hope you're all doing that as soon as you click off here. Don't do it right. Click off first. Anyways, so I just wanted to once again thank Kevin for being here, and also just to wrap it up. Be prepared is the underlying thing of what Kevin was saying. And also, just take a moment selfishly and mention, don't forget tomorrow night, September 14th, is the open house. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times on some of the earlier tips, but tomorrow night is it. If you're interested and this is the first tip you're hearing about it, the open house for the Flash Forward workshop that we're going to be doing in October, in late October. So tomorrow's the big open house. So make sure you email to RSVP, email April at flashforwardhollywood@gmail.com. Okay? And that's it. I will see you all again on Thursday for tip number 8. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. And once again, thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
Well, welcome.
See you next time.